The Talkative Tortoise. For a very long time, alongside a village, there was a beautiful lake. It was inhabited by many water birds and fish. There was a little tortoise that also lived in the lake. He was very talkative and would stop talking only if he was fast asleep. Once, a severe drought hit the region, and all the rivers and lakes and ponds began to dry up fast. The fishes began to die, and the water birds flew away to far off places. Soon there was not a drop of water to drink for anyone. The last two geese left near the lake were talking to each other. "I think it's time now to say goodbye to this lake." "Yes," said the second one. "Let us find some other lake in some other place." The tortoise overheard the geese talking, and he pleaded, "Oh, please, don't leave me alone here. I don't want to die. Please take me along." The geese looked at each other and felt pity for the tortoise. They wondered how they could take him along. While it was easy for the geese to fly, it was difficult for the tortoise to cover that distance on foot. So the tortoise came up with a bright idea. "Why not bring a strong stick? I will hold the stick from the middle with my teeth, and you two hold the ends of the stick with your beaks. This way you can take me along." The geese thought it was a good idea too, but they cautioned him. "You see, tortoise, you will be hanging on to that stick with your teeth. The stick will be in your mouth. You have to be really, really careful. If you open your mouth, you will fall down. You will fall on the ground and something might happen to you. You have to be very careful. We are saying this because you're so talkative. You can't seem to stop talking. So, in the middle of the flight, when we are carrying you and you're holding on to the stick with your teeth, you might want to talk, and if you open your mouth to talk, you will fall down. You have to be very, very careful," they said. The tortoise promised not to open his mouth, not even to talk. He said, "I promise I will be very careful." And so the two geese took the ends of the stick with their beaks, and the tortoise bit the middle of the stick and held on, and the geese took off, and thus they started their long journey. It was such a sight, the geese holding the stick with their beaks and the tortoise dangling from the middle. And thus they flew. They flew over all the lands, all the rivers, and they flew over beautiful countryside, hills and valleys, until finally they started flying over a town. While they were flying over the town, the men, women and children came out of their houses to see this very strange sight. The children began shouting and clapping, and the foolish tortoise forgot that he was hanging from that stick with his mouth. He felt the sudden urge to say hello and to cheer back, and he opened his mouth to talk. There and then he fell down onto the ground and he fell into the river. He almost drowned, but he managed to climb up onto the banks of the river, shook himself off, and he thought, "Oh, I was so foolish. I shouldn't have tried to talk. And now the geese are flown away and I'm left here all alone." So you see what happened, children? It is always best to stay quiet. Sometimes if you don't keep quiet, you might get into trouble.